Trading is closed on July 27, 2022. We always start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and then make some predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, July 28th, 2022. Remember, I can be completely wrong, and any trade you make should be at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the early high, which is this, and tomorrow has the early low. We looked for higher prices. We had a target of 39.34.33, but I said we could see 4,287. We saw both numbers, and this is a target we get to cross off the list. During the day, MEJT said this rally wouldn't stick, this drop wouldn't stick, and that's already played out. In the morning, it said ultimately we're going to trade at 39.61.82 or lower, and usually these ultimate targets are seen pretty soon, but they certainly don't have to be. It just says it prints ultimately. I get about one failure of these targets every 2 or 3 years, so we should see it, but that doesn't require it to print anytime soon. Now we do have an ABC here. Here's A, here's B. C is equal to A. So if we do top here, at least you have an explanation for it. Doesn't mean that's the only way to count this. Here's what we said. We look for higher prices. I also said we get wild moves after the Fed announcement. I just don't have a system to predict with a great degree of accuracy what those moves are going to be. Typically, the first move after the announcement, which came at this price, 39.74.46, typically that tells you the direction of the next major move. So since that was higher, if the signal works, the next major move we're going to get is going to be higher. But typically there's a 3-leg whipsaw. Now, you could count this as 1, 2, 3, but usually you get more than that. And if you get more than that, we're 65 handles over the announcement price. If we get the typical whipsaw, we'll trade under that price by more than 65 handles. I'm not going to claim it works every time, but it works often enough. But this is big stuff here. We had this break under this trend line yesterday. We said yesterday it looked like a false break. We had to trade under the close by 1 cent for confirmation. That didn't happen. Still, we gapped over the line. We still have to trade past today's close by 1 cent for confirmation. But this certainly looks like the rally's not over. Doesn't mean we have to go up tomorrow. Tomorrow's pattern has a early low. We could still gap up. There's a MEJT ultimate sell signal arguing for a much lower price, but the signal has no time limit, and though it usually prints fairly quickly, it doesn't have to. First move after the announcement was up. Usually that means the next significant move is going to be up. We've gone 65 handles over the announcement price. If we get the usual 3-leg whipsaw, which usually works, not always, we should trade more than that under the announcement price before the final high of the rally is seen. The typical whipsaw and the ABC pattern make a drop here plausible, but I just can't say it's required. Today's rally didn't go far enough to invalidate my wave counts, but it does make me question their accuracy. If you go much higher, I'm going to have to look for something else. You always have to keep your erasers handy with these things. I did say yesterday that even though my indicators pointed up, that certainly wasn't what I expected them to do, but that's why I take things a day at a time. So for the longer term, this looks like we're going higher, but as far as tomorrow is concerned, it's plausible we top here, and even it's plausible we have a big drop. But this is, for the longer term, positive, Shorter term, we could still have a big tank, and I'm not risking any money on it at this point. Tomorrow should have the early low, and that's today's call.